Hi there. So, welcome, welcome back. It's been a while. So I took a little peek at my channel again, and I noticed a certain comment there, stating that my channel is dead. Let me pull it up for a moment here. You can see that. Yeah, let me put that on top. Mm, there. So let me pull that window up here for myself. Where is that? Yes, I think the channel is dead. As an answer to a very kind and generous comment over here. So now I've been trying for the couple of weeks, or I've been considering coming back again. Actually, I've been considering coming back for a long time, for months. But seeing this comment, I let me paraphrase, or maybe just precisely quote Mark Twain when I say that the reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Um, so yeah, I'm still around. I'm still around. Don't worry about it. I'm still thinking about my viewers. I'm thinking about my channel, and um, and I haven't lost interest. It's not dead. This project is not dead. Now, this YouTube channel is a hobby of mine, and it will likely remain so. I have a full-time job that I'm really happy about. I get to combine two of my passions, which is biology, systematics, taxonomy, and also computing. And I have great colleagues, so I don't need. So this will be a job. It will be hobby. Many years ago, I would say that would almost be like 6, 7, 8 years ago. I was considering maybe starting a YouTube career, but now that I have my dream job and that it's actually getting harder and harder for to make a living out of YouTube. Many established creators are struggling at the moment. Um, so this will be forever a hobby of mine. It's not a cheap hobby. It also takes a lot of time to invest. So I will probably close my Patreon, but I may still keep ads on. But it is a hobby, and in that sense, it's not a service I'm offering to anyone, let alone be a paid one. I mean, apart from the ads that many of you are forced to watch when viewing my videos. Um, and one main reason I keep ads on is not so much for the money, but also I've heard, I might be mistaken, that monetized videos are promoted by the algorithm. I'm not sure that is true, but it makes sense that YouTube would want to promote things they earn that make them money, right? So I'm afraid if I so I'm it's already hard for people to find me. So I'm afraid that if I turn off ads altogether, then it will be even harder to find me. So, but yeah, my channel hasn't exploded. Not really. I mean, I'm at 15,300 subscribers. That's actually, I'm very proud of that. And I'm really happy about that. And that's more than, it's enough. It's enough just, I have some dedicated viewers. It's enough being on the radar. That's fine. But the thing I wanted to say here is even though it is a hobby, um, yeah, yes, you comment. He came online. The guy who thought I was dead. Yeah, the person who thought I was dead. Yeah. Well, it kind of triggered it. I've been teetering on doing something with my channel, and I was like, no, I cannot have this. I cannot have people believe that it's done. It's over with. It's not over with. It's not. Don't worry about it. Um, But the point I'm trying to make here is that even though this is a hobby, I still now feel like I owe my subscribers and my viewers a bit of an apology, because I have been raising expectations with starting out on this journey, and I've not been able to deliver yet. I've not been able to deliver fully. And I also feel bad because I really enjoy even the small amount of appreciation and attention I am getting, and the appreciation of what I'm putting out here, because I put out things that I find interesting. I'm talking about things that I'm not quite feeling I'm finding on the internet, even though there's a lot of similar content talking about exobiology, talking about alien biospheres, speculative biology. There's a lot that has exploded. I'm kind of sad that I've maybe missed the bus on that one. If I had started maybe earlier on this and was able to be consistent with my uploads, maybe I would have been bigger. But it's no longer about being big for me. I don't need to earn money. I don't need to make a living. I just want people to enjoy what I'm making. I want just a little corner of the internet. People who enjoy what I'm doing, who share my interests and like what I put out there. So yeah, but I've not been able to keep up, and I've not been able to post regularly, which has also affected my channel's growth. That's just how things work, people who are capable of, creators that are capable of putting out every week, maybe several times a week, they do experience a huge growth. And from the comments that I'm getting here, I do think there are many more people who would be appreciative and be interested in my kind of content. So yeah, let me just quickly check the chat here. Loud and clear. Reverb, yeah. There's some reverb, isn't there? I'm not sure where that's coming from. Maybe it's because my webcam is also taking in audio. Maybe there's some more audio coming in from somewhere. I'm not sure. It hasn't been a while since I've worked on my streaming software. Someone with a Japanese name says, as a biologist myself, I totally understand you. Please take your time and do what you love to do. You're awesome. Thank you. That's very kind. And yeah. Thank you. You could put your videos on Nebula. Yeah, I know, but when it started, Nebula, back in the day, I kind of signed up, but I don't think it's easy to come in. I think you need to be more established than I am, but also I need to be able to, again, I need to be able to deliver, right? I cannot just start on this. Just doing things on YouTube, it takes a lot of effort. Just setting up this whole live stream, it took me hours to set my streaming software up, set my whole the lighting right, and everything. It's not that easy. So and I I have a busy week. I could tell you more about my personal life a little bit. Not everything, right? I'm not gonna overshare, but I have a very busy work week. But that's gonna change. Yeah. Let me backtrack for a moment. So what has happened? What is going on, and what is going to happen? I cannot make any promises or guarantees, but a lot has happened in my life since I started on the Alien Evolution series. That was actually, the first one was in 2018. And a lot has especially happened since 2020, COVID year, incidentally. When I also really started intensifying, putting out a lot of videos in this series, because I noticed that it was gaining traction. So I was like, hey, I need to do more of the same thing and do it regularly. I tried to do it every month in 2020. But then things in my personal life started happening, and especially 2021, 2022, and also 23, uh, it's been a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean like enormous life-changing events. Um, and now I'm standing at the eve of a whole new era of my life. I have no idea, I have not a clear idea exactly on how that will, how my daily, everyday life will become, just a few months down the line. I'm not sure. There's a lot of factors. But so without going into much detail, I know it's a bit frustrating, but, there's been some life-changing events since 2020, 21 especially. And I didn't have I was going from place to place, simply put. Now I've been living here in this apartment for a few years. I'm going to move to a new apartment, closer to my work later this year. It's actually in May. So yeah. Um, Yeah, so that is one of the reasons why I have not been able to keep up. But also, there are many factors. It's also that I put so much work into each and every video because of the way I want to make my videos. I want to make it, engaging. I want to make it informative, and I want to, I want every second almost of the video, show something, right? I don't want to have just a still image with me talking over it. That's just not my style. So it takes a lot of time video editing my kinds of videos. You want to have an image for every 5 seconds or so, a new image, and you have to create those images. You have to find those images. They don't have to be copyrighted, or I don't have the money to get copyrighted images anywhere, so I'm not paying for that. In any case, I don't want to spend money on that when I have not really a stable income from my YouTube channel. So there's a lot of factors involved in this. It's my personal life, it's the way I make videos, it's the research I'd like to put into my videos. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so yeah. So as you may have noticed, so this is why when things were stable, I could, with a bit of straining, I could put out a video every month. But it's been a while since I've been able to do that. So yeah. So anyway, so what is going to happen on and to this channel going forward? Well, all the videos that I've made are gonna stay, of course. I do still have large amounts of ideas and scripts that I've started writing on. A lot of them are pretty far already. And I also still feel I want to finish what I've started, especially the successful series of mine on the alien biosphere, evolution, and related videos. Also because that's always, been a big interest of mine to think about, speculative evolution and what life on other planets may look like. It really preoccupies me a lot. I think about it regularly. I think about it a lot more than I do about the Roman Empire. Life on other planets is my Roman Empire. It is something that it's almost, it almost hurts me to probably never going to be able to find out what life on other planets will be like, because it's still so open a question. It's either it's going to be pretty similar to life on Earth, because that's maybe the only way to have life and sentient life, or it can be like anything's possible, right? Any kinds of environments, any kinds of temperatures, any kinds of chemistries. It's either narrow or it's wide open or somewhere in between there. It is so unpredictable, and I hope I'll live to maybe see the day that we do find out just a little bit of life on other planets, maybe in our own solar system. maybe Europa, maybe even on Jupiter. You never know, right? Like Carl Sagan predicted, and the videos are made about it. So this is really preoccupying me a lot, and I've seen what other people have put out. There are so many interesting channels, so many people who are designing aliens and thinking about speculating about evolution on other planets. And it is really engaging, and it's really heartwarming to see that my people are out there. I'm part of this greater tribe of people who really want to know, how will this go on another planet. So this is a kind of, I wouldn't call it a complaint, but I heard a lot about my own Alien Biosphere Evolution series, is that people enjoy them, but they're also okay, but we want to see your aliens. Could you design some aliens, And I want to work, so maybe frustratingly, I want to work towards that goal. I want to first get the basics right. I first want to understand, how did our evolution happen, How did we get this diversity of body plans? How did we get insects? I covered that in one video. But the big question is, how did we get vertebrates? And will we get vertebrates on other planets? That is something that is vexing me, because you see it in science fiction. It's almost like usually the default, it's like, oh, there's another planet with aliens, and well, lo and behold, they have things that look like vertebrates, that look like tetrapods. They have skeletons. They're kind of modeled after dinosaurs or kangaroos or something familiar that we know of on Earth. And the laziest, with I'm saying this generously because you have limitations with science fiction. You have to have artistic liberties. I totally get it. I'm not criticizing. I'm not calling it lazy, but a lot of science fiction aliens are just people with prosthetics, or the more, a lot of the alien faunas are very much inspired by Earth faunas. So it's not the task of science fiction writers and their team, the whole team of involved in making, movies or series, to spend, to really invest in speculating about alien evolution. So I'm not criticizing science fiction genre for that. I enjoy science fiction very much, like everybody here. But it's also a bit frustrating because it's a lot of them. They're putting a lot of aliens are very, very appealing, for many reasons. They're very well designed from a design perspective, right? And it's almost like it's like almost giving you a sense of what it might be like on another planet. But it's still too familiar to really take seriously. And people like me and you all, we want to know. We want to really know. We want to really try to predict alien biospheres. Will they be like our biospheres, or is it completely unpredictable? So yeah. So this is my quest that I started out on, and I've started at the bottom. I've started really, okay, will we have microorganisms? Will we have cells? This is kind of how I build up the whole series. Actually, start up with a big question: will we have humanoids? And then I realized that very, very first video when I made that, it's like, we don't know. Let's go back to the basics. So let's go back to, okay, will we have cells? Will we have bilateral symmetry? And will we have Cambrian explosions? Will we have insects? So I'm kind of building up to the big question of, what can we really, really predict about life on other planets? So yeah. So what I wanted to do in this live stream, and I'm gonna probably edit and cut it up, is and make it into a regular video. But I want to go through some ideas I've had for the channel, and I want to go through some of your comments, answer some of them. The ones that elicit an interesting answer, that is. And I want to, hear your opinion, put them in this chat, or put them in the, put your ideas or comments in the comment section when this stream is being saved, hopefully. To what you think you would like. So like I said, my particular formula for videos is very time consuming, which limits my capacity to put these out. And other channels, like, I think his name was Anton Petrov, let me look that up for a moment, that have exploded. There are many channels like Anton Petrov that are great, by the way. Yeah, Anton Petrov, that's his name. Yeah, I remembered correctly. And he talks about all matters, astronomy and science, but mostly actually astronomy, and he just does it almost daily. Actually, he does it literally daily. Puts something out every day, and his style is just him talking, like I'm doing right now, just talking to the mic camera, preparing, of course, preparing the things he wants to talk about, and not spend so much time finding images, making animations. He found some images, but it's mostly just him talking to the camera, and that makes it easier to make content. So I've been considering maybe I should do something similar. I will still make the videos that are in the style that I've made them, like, with the animations and stuff, with the, they're well prepared. But I could also just, every week try to have a little session, talk about some subject, and then present something interesting geared to my audience and put it out there. Maybe throw some images on there, do a minimal, you spend a few hours on editing, but not too much. That could be sustainable. But I'm not sure if I'm able to do even that. But, if people enjoy seeing it, and if that will drive engagement on my channel, I might just do it. I might just do it. And then in the meantime, I can work on those big videos that, take a lot of research and editing effort. So yeah. No, I have not died. It looks like a Turkish name. Beni yargılama, sadece bilimi seviyorum. Something like that. Thank you for welcoming me back, Leonardo Mesquita. Kind words from Rhiannon Sullivan. Yeah. So, let's see. So, okay, well, we got 13 viewers right now. So I'm not sure what to do now. So I just presented some of the, I've also been, some other ideas I had for the channel is maybe doing some shorts, because that's like the big thing. I'm not fond of shorts. I think shorts should stay on platforms like TikTok. And YouTube should not actually try to do the same as TikTok, but, I'm actually not very happy with shorts on the YouTube platform, because I think they're an interference. But, I could distill some of my videos into shorts, cut them up into little sound bites. I could also put those things on TikTok instead of YouTube shorts. I could do more things on Instagram. But, all these social media, that it takes also a lot of effort. You have to upkeep and maintain, and And I've not been very good also at upkeeping my social media. It's been that bad. It's been hard enough just to make content for my video, right? But shorts, maybe I could make shorts. Maybe I can do the ones in the Anton Petrov style of videos, talking to a screen like I'm doing now. In the beginning, like, oh, that must be already 6 years ago. I was kind of, was really, unsure about, showing my face. I'm still not, I wouldn't say that I'm shy, but I'm just, I'm not sure. I need to get used to that. I felt more comfortable doing voiceovers and animations over animations and imagery. But, a lot of people just put a camera in their face and start talking. And it works. It works for them. It works for their audience. So, maybe I can do something similar. Maybe people enjoy watching me talk. I don't know. I this is like, yeah, this is also like a psychological phenomenon. I'm not fond of seeing myself on camera. It's like, oh, well, I think that many people have. That's a very common phenomenon, right? If you see yourself, you have to get used to the uncanny valley of seeing yourself, watching yourself, not in a mirror, but actually on a screen. So, but everything, you can get used to everything, right? Um, yeah. Yeah, so I've been considering that. I have so many ideas. So right now I'm split. Shall I first look at your comments or no? I think I'm first gonna talk through the channel ideas that I'm having. So maybe I can share another window. Let me just put up. Where's my Google Drive? There. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. I'm gonna find a Google Drive window. There it is. So, give you a little peek about all the things that I got lined up. I need to add a window capture. Just a moment. And then, yeah, there it is. Okay. So, I think you can see all, yeah, it looks like you can see that. Let me just make that a little bigger. Okay. So, yep. Let me make myself a little smaller. There. Okay. So this is my Google Drive, and it's a bit of a mess. There are so many folders and so many concepts. I'm very good at having ideas. My brain is very creative, but then it takes an extra effort to actually turn these ideas into results. But so these are at the bottom. Oh yeah, a lot of things. I'm not even sure I want to go there. Let's just go through them from top to bottom, right? So let me go into the folders later on. But then there is one on life on Jupiter. So already I did 2 videos on life on Jupiter. And let me just make myself just a little bit bigger here. I don't know. There. Right. So further speculations. The life on Jupiter speculation from my teenage years is actually one that I'm, wouldn't say proud, but I'm kind of happy about it. I'm kind of content with it. I like it. It's interesting enough for me to imagine. Yeah, this could work. Probably not on our own Jupiter. Maybe, I don't know. We haven't really gone to Jupiter and peered through the clouds. I'm not sure. There might actually be life on Jupiter and we were just oblivious. There might be life on Venus in the clouds, or Venus. There might be life on one of those ice moons with an ocean underneath. That is probably the most likely place to find life, but you never know. You might even when we're talking about subsurface oceans, it might even be on Pluto, right? Or any other icy body with liquid water somewhere underneath. There's a speculative zoology of slimes number 3. Oh yeah, dare I open this Spoiler alert, by the way. Spoiler alert if you don't want to learn too much. Now I'm curious. Oh, okay, there's not much here. No, that's not much here. So the Subnautica, yeah, Subnautica was a thing when it just came. What it was, I think it was in beta when I made the video on Subnautica. Some of my children were playing it, and I liked, I liked the aesthetic of it. And I thought, let's do a cladistic analysis on this fauna. And there's actually an idea that I haven't explored enough, because you can do, I know how to do cladistic analysis. This is my background. This is how I've been trained in. I've studied biology, specializing in systematics, evolution, and paleobiology. Those are my specializations. So taxonomy and systematics involve doing cladistic analyses, and cladistic analyses are doing a calculation of the evolutionary history of a group of taxa. And taxon is a species or a larger group of genus or family. A bunch of creatures, simply put. So yeah. The problem now with Subnautica is that they really got some really good artists on that project. And I forgot his name. I feel bad about forgetting his name, because he's making some awesome alien concept. I mentioned him before in one of my videos. What's his name again? I forgot. But they involved him, and he made some awesome alien concepts. And now this task of doing another cladistic analysis on the current fauna of Subnautica, and also speculating on the evolutionary history of the creatures, it's such a daunting task, because I really need to take this seriously now. I need to think about having many more characters, because if you want to do a successful cladistic analysis, you should have at least twice the amount of characters to the amount of creatures you want to do the analysis on, right? So you got the matrix, you have to have a matrix that's much wider than it is tall, right? So yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. Signs of It, yeah. I don't know. I started that during Halloween season. There was some kind of collab thing going on that I tried to latch onto. Didn't really get a lot of traction, but I had some interesting ideas about Pennywise being. I know it comes from just this more magical Lovecraftian universe that Stephen King uses. So there's a lot of magic involved and not so much science, but still I was kind of, is there a creature that could have evolved to be able to pull this off? The things that you see in the movie, it's, and going back to the original novel. Yeah. Steven Universe. Yeah. I don't want to cringe anyone, but I like Steven Universe. And I'm almost done with a video, not about xenobiology, but actually about psychoanalysis of the different characters. But I was a bit trepidatious, uncertain putting that out there, because it didn't really no longer really fits my audience of the channel. It wasn't really about exobiology or science at all. Actually, it's just a bit of a wishy-washy speculation on the psychological meaning of the different characters in a given show or movie. But I could still finish it up. But then I had another idea, and it's been done before. I know there are some videos on that already. To think about, these gem beings, how would that work? And xenobiology is then the term you should use, because you've got exobiology. It's just thinking about biology outside of the Earth. There is astrobiology that also includes the Earth. So you should actually be talking about astrobiology. Now, but xenobiology is actually something that is so different from the biology that we're used to, what we consider being biological. So that were the thoughts I had about gem beings, based on some crystalline structures. Could that somehow become living? I mean, in theory, if you got some kind of information flow, some kind of entropy mechanism that lessens entropy, uh, could become alive. I mean, that happens with our carbon-based life. It came from carbon-based chemistry, but you never know if there's some completely different kind of physics or geochemistry that also could become alive, because it starts funneling information and input entropy in interesting ways. So I had some interesting ideas of that, and I think you would appreciate what I've tried to do. Evolution of life on a terraformed Mars. Yeah, I don't think it's feasible to terraform Mars. I mean, certainly not with our technology. We cannot even terraform our own Earth, right? We're just ruining our own planets. So until we've actually learned to manage our own planets, we can forget about terraforming any other planet. Right? Let's start with Earth. Let's maintain Earth, right? Instead of terraforming another world. But I know, if we think maybe far enough in the future where we are capable, and we did terraform Mars, for as far as that's possible, because Mars has a lot of problems. It has a lot of problems. But then suppose we could make it work. How would life evolve if we just, made it into a viable world and then left it alone? What would happen? Maybe human race went extinct or something that causes us to leave a terraformed Mars alone. How would life evolve? I'm not sure if I want to do that. Help me name star types. Yeah, that was a bit of a one-off, because you've got all the MG bunch of letters for star types, and I thought these were, when I first learned about that, I thought these were like abbreviations of things, but they were just, it was actually kind of disappointing to learn that it was just a series of letters that then were rearranged because they changed the way they ordered the stars. They now ordered them on I think it was temperature. And earlier they were ordered on the basis of light, of the kind of light, I think. So the letters don't mean anything. But I thought, let's try to see if we can have a little vote on that. Do give some proposals. What shall we call an M-type star or a G-type star? I don't know. Not a very interesting idea, but it's just feasible to quickly do. Habitability of the closest stars. Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, I mean, as far as we know, yeah, a lot of these are just ideas that I get, and I just my mind starts rolling, and I just take a lot of notes and then leave it alone. So maybe I can flesh those out at a later stage. A lot of these things are not really much fleshed out. Life on Jupiter, I did that one. That one is done. I should maybe move that into done. Yeah. Bum. So yeah, let's see if there's anything in L-type brown dwarf. Yeah, I did that actually. Someone dumb says hello. Sean Lou says Alex Reese. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, Alex Reese. He is. I mean, I'm not worthy, right? He's awesome. His designs are just amazing. He's an amazing artist. He's understands the biology very well, and he made so many interesting designs for aliens for Subnautica. I'm at awe, and I feel so intimidated that I don't even want to touch Subnautica. It's so much work to try to get to know all these creatures, score some characters, that I can plot into a data matrix, and then do a Cladistic analysis. I don't know. Maybe I'll eventually do it. And just a quick questions I'm catching. Yeah, how's my family doing? Yeah, don't ask. But my family is doing fine. I'm doing fine. My children are all adults, by the way. So I turned 50 last year. I'm a bit of an old geezer. I'm 50 years old. Yep. All my children are adults, and they're doing great. Um, yeah. Someone dumb asked about the L-type brown dwarf. Now, I think I did something similar with the. That's not quite the same, of course, but there was like this speculative biology from my youth, from my teenage years, where I envisaged like a huge gas planet inside of which, with a breathable atmosphere, and the inside of the planet, inside of the atmosphere, you'd have Earth-sized planets circling around. I don't. That would not work physically, of course, but it's kind of similar. And then I started thinking about, well, maybe we could have, yeah, a brown dwarf. I mean, will that even make enough energy? I don't know. Maybe with gravitational. I mean, it wouldn't be much different from moons around Jupiter, would there? Yeah. I'm not old. No, I know. I've actually. I feel invigorated. I feel like, geez, I turned 50 and I still feel like I'm 30. Right? I have so much energy. I have so many ideas. So many things I want to do. So much time left. When you're in your 20s, you think when you reach 50, your life is over. Right? Now that I'm 50, I'm like, well, no, I got so much more I can do. I got so much more I can accomplish. And this YouTube channel, or maybe eventually, maybe I'll get to write a book about it, something. I want to leave a mark. I want to leave something behind. So yeah, yeah. Let me get to that because I'm happy that I mentioned it in the beginning, right? I still want to do the thing about. I still want to crack the nut of the vertebrate evolution because it's really, really interesting and it's really pivotal. You see it in so many science fiction. You will always find vertebrate-like aliens, like vertebratoids or whatever you want to call them, and it's almost like taken as a given. So I want to explore that, right? So I've explored the fact that how would you be able to get arthropods, and it's actually not all that far off, right? It's all driven by circumstances and choices made in individual lineages. Let's have an exoskeleton, because we want to burrow. Oh, let's have some spikes because we want to, um, burrow even better. um, and then it's quite thinkable that on every planet there will be one lineage that makes the same experiments. And then because that body plan is so successful for its particular niche, I'm talking about arthropods now, right? Arthropods are so successful because of their exoskeleton, despite the limitations of molting and diffusion of metabolites and respiration. So whenever a lineage on some planets figures this out through very mundane pathways, evolutionary pathways, then they will also likely explode. So this is a bit of a spoiler almost, but this is the idea that I'm working towards. Is like at the end of this long series, including talking about all the different types of animals, all the different body plans, arthropods. Um, um, let me turn off my window capture for a moment here. Um, Arthropods, vertebrates, mollusks, what have you, right? Those are the big ones. But if you've got such an explosion of lineages uh, during evolution, any evolution on a planet similar enough to Earth, will you not have the same experiments being done? And will you then not have the same ratio of what works? Like an arthropod body plan works very well. A vertebrate body plan works very well for, another reason. And will you just end up with arthropods, vertebrates, mollusks things that remind of those, are reminiscent. And it looks like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. I need to look into this deeper. So the biggest nut to crack here is how on earth did we get vertebrates? And that is actually very complex, not surprisingly, because my research has so far shown me that there were a lot of strange, it's followed a very strange route to get to vertebrates, if you look at what we know about the evolutionary history. So this is what I'm gearing up for in my video. And we can open the folder here, Alien Biosphere Evolution. Let's open it up. And, I've got some notes, archive concepts. So there it is. There's the vertebrate recipe, right? I have not forgotten about this. I need to maybe get the numbering correct. Let me just move myself to the side here. So I'm working on this. I'm not going to open it. I don't want to give spoilers away. So that's, and I also don't want to do something about tagmosis, the phenomenon where you get specialized body regions, which you see on all kinds of different lineages, and you see them in arthropods, you see them in vertebrates, and most body plans that have some kind of seriation. Now, I also have to say that the problem with comparing very disparate lineages like arthropods and vertebrates is in what extent is it convergent and in what extent is it parallel, right? Because they are all based on the same kind of structural genes. It is all homeobox Hox genes. It's all based on Hox genes. So there's some very deep evolutionary baggage that connects arthropods and vertebrates that makes it a bit parallel, right? We're kind of using the same toolbox. So something that is completely disconnected from this evolution of ours. Will it really also do tagmosis? We have no idea, right? Or is this the only way to make complex bodies? Maybe it is. It's a big question, and it will remain so. And I'm afraid I'll never find out in my lifetime how other creatures evolve on other planets. I'm going to have to believe in reincarnation or something, just to take the tragedy a bit away from me. But, well, you never know. So, we did the arthropod recipe. Alternate arthropods, yeah. Because there's one thing they're arriving at an arthropod body type, but there will be plenty of wiggle room still, and maybe we can arrive. I think the idea of that video was how can we get what alternative pathways on Earth could be explored to also arrive at arthropods. So if in annelids or echinoderms, or even vertebrates would evolve something akin to an arthropod, right? Those are the kind of alternate arthropods. So it's a bit of an alternate history. There's also alternate vertebrates, by the way. How can we make vertebrates out of alternate lineages? Like how can we make a vertebrate out of an annelid lineage or a molluscan lineage? Yeah. Something with an endoskeleton, something with limbs, a limited amount of limbs. So yeah. And then there's number 13, the most plausible sapient alien life forms. Yeah, I wonder if I'm going to evaluate. No, I don't think we're going to evaluate proposals. I think I'm going to. It's been a while that I've written this one, but I think I'm going to think about, thinking about sapient life forms, sapient like humans, Homo sapiens, technological species. What kind of body plans would work for them? That is kind of the idea of that. So a lot of these I've already done. Yeah, all of these are done. So these are some of the new ones. Concepts, universal body regions, alternate air breathing adaptations, alternate macrocells. That's something for a far future, right? Because the cells of our body, the eukaryotic cell, will we see that on another planet? It seems, on the one hand, it seems unique. On the other hand, it also seems kind of, mundane. I mean, you just incorporate cells from other lineages into your own cells, and presto, you've got something that's like an eukaryote cell. And it's happened multiple times, actually. It's happened multiple times, and I even it's pretty. There's a Danish word for that, nærliggende. It's pretty. It seems like it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it only happens like every billion years or so, or something, right? But it seems like something that keeps on happening, right? It keeps on happening. That's one way to get a more complex cell, is just incorporating other cells. But is there an alternative? Can you have alternative kind of macro cells? Yeah. Sexual reproduction and gender. Yeah, that will be interesting. I wanted to do a review of Bibleridian. Yeah. I don't know if I'm ever going to get to that. Contingency list. Yeah, I think that's about the many contingencies in our evolution. So yeah. Skeletons. Periodic system of life. Oh, I remember that. Yeah. The periodic table. So what if we could do that for life? Just plot out body plans in a kind of systematic way and use that as a basis for speculation. That would be interesting. I'm not going to open it. Oh, I'm not sure I'm ever going to get to that. I'm going to get up to Alien Biosphere Evolution. So yeah. Archive, notes. What is notes? Deep body patterning. Okay. Yeah, let's go back up. Okay. So there's that. There's alien analysis. Yeah. Alien worlds. I also did a series on other worlds. So I did the ancient science fiction, universal evolutionary trends, alternative Earths. Yeah. What was that all about? You're going to get some spoilers. I'm going to do some kind of classifications. Yeah. Like toroids. So Earth is a toroid world. What else? What other kinds of alternative Earths can we have? Yeah. Interesting. So I'm rediscovering this with you guys. So anyway, what have we got more? So we've got alien worlds. What is that all about? Fixing alien worlds 2. Oh, though, yeah, this the Netflix series. Yeah, I only got to do 2 of them. Yeah, alien analysis. Okay, what is more? More concepts here. I did. Oh, yeah, thalassophili. Could they be the link between insects and crustaceans? You never know. Robotic life. You're gonna love that one. The evolution of Transformers. Yeah. Star Wars aliens. Yeah, that's a mess. But let's give it a go. Science fiction aliens. A review. What if the dinosaurs were never wiped out? Yeah, alternative history. Multiple genders. Homestuck trolls. Oh dear. Planet of the Furries. I'm not proud of this folder. I think Planet of the Furries is about, what if maybe an alternative evolution on Earth or some other planets where you will have sapiens that, unlike humans, are still mammalian, right? So they have like protruding snouts, they have fur all over their body. I mean, the only reason that we're kind of furless has to do with, the circumstances of our evolution on the savanna of Africa, which made it a good idea to lose fur on most of our body. But there's no compelling reason why sapient creatures, especially those that evolved from something like a mammal, or maybe literally from a mammal, there's no reason for a sapient species to lose fur. It's only humans that did. And they're pretty unique in that respect, among primates in any case. So yeah, that is actually what it's about. Future races, yeah, what if we start colonizing other planets? How will we evolve as will we actually have, I mean, races are social constructs, I know that. When I'm talking about race, I mean the thing that most people understand of it. It's just phenotypic variation, nothing more than that. yeah, suggestions. Exosymbiosis of Prometheorchium synthropicum. I forgot about that one. Let me backtrack here. Alien analysis. So, now, is there anything else I want to... Recycling, fixings, yeah. Fixing Dune, fixing Star Wars. I want to fix a lot of science fiction series. Man, I'm revealing too much here. So, what is this? Where did I go? Alien analysis, yeah. Then there's also some alternate history videos I was thinking of doing, and but not a lot of interesting things. So let me shut down this window here. There. All right. Is there anything interesting in the vertebrate evolution video? The more I think about vertebrates, the weirder and more anomalous they seem to me. They are very strange. I mean, the evolution is very strange. It really took a lot of back and forth, and it's a very strange path. The arthropods had a much more straightforward evolution, if I may say so. So, thank you, Rhiannon. Yeah, gill arches and jaws are, yeah, I know. This is the thing, right? Because when you think about a vertebrate, you think about a whole suite of things. You think about the... So this is the chat, it's internal skeletons could develop from wildly different origins convergently, but things like gill arches and jaws are really specific, or oddly specific almost. So, so when we think about a vertebrate, we think of a whole suite of things. We think about the internal skeleton, we think about, the jaws, the transverse jaws that we have. No, not transverse, the hinging jaws that we have, like arthropods, they have like transverse jaws, like go like from side to side, and we have jaws that are, it's really strange to get that, and you don't see it in any other lineage. It's usually just tentacles turning into jaws. You do see it actually now that I'm saying it, of cephalopods. They also have something like a vertebrate jaw, but it has a very different origin. But it also goes up and down. I mean, when you think about a jaw, there's only so many ways you can make a jaws, right? You can either go from side to side or up, down, or there could be multiple elements. You could have like an oral cone, like a bunch of spikes. But usually things like that are simplified into, singular elements. So then you would still have to decide, is it going sideways or up, or transversely? Yeah. And then the whole thing with the limbs, So when we think of vertebrates, we think of endoskeleton, we think of the jaws that we have, the faces that we have with nostrils, and that is also very, very oddly specific. And the very limited amount of limbs. I mean, you could evolve a vertebrate, you could evolve a creature with an endoskeleton, but they'll have like a bunch of limbs, like arthropods they do, right? Or like arthropods or polycate worms do, right? So it doesn't need to be that specific combination that we have. And you could also have a creature with... annelids are a bit like that, There are soft-bodied organisms that... They're very similar to arthropods in many ways. They have like serrated bodies, segmented bodies even, and they have a bunch of limbs, right? So yeah, it is a very specific body plan that we're so used to. It's very hard to think beyond that. It's very hard to imagine something that is on our level that is not also a vertebrate thing, or even a human. This is why you see it in science fiction. That's why it's so common in science fiction, right? So some storage cells. So idle speculation says, when I say storage cells, I mean similar to our adipose tissue serves to store fats only with calcium. Yeah. Mm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. This is this comment again by idle speculation on mitochondria being instead uh, replaced by clusters of specialized vacuoles. So yeah, this is going back to the alternative cells. What kind of other bigger cells, complex cells, could be evolve? But you will need cells, right? This is what I established. Is one of my earlier videos. It's like, okay, well, let's look at this, right? You need cells. You cannot have evolution without something that keeps the chemicals together, unless it's in a completely different, unless it's like something xenobiological, like gem crystals. That's something. But if something that's more or less the same as on Earth, it's in water, it's carbon based, you'll need cells, right? But then how do you get from bacteria-like cells to um, eukaryote-like cells, bigger cells that are more complex, that are more capable of doing stuff? That was an important step. You cannot really build complex organisms from bacterial cells. That hasn't happened in any case. You need, I mean, well, you never know. It could be you could imagine some really complex polymorphic uh, cooperations between bacterial level cells, that are not tucked inside of each other like eukaryotic cells. I'm going to do a video on that. I need to think that through. So, yeah, purple earth, yeah. I mean, is green really the best color for plants? Maybe it is actually, because our sunlight peaks at the green spectrum. So, I mean, there's some more to that. Um, no, I actually mean specifically vertebrates, the endoskeletal thing. So anyway, another thing I was thinking of doing is looking at comments here. So if I put this window away from me here, and what time is it? I've been at it for an hour. So I also need to go to bed. Right. So yeah. So let me just go through some of the comments on my channel, right? And I think I'm going to stop in 15, maybe 30 minutes. So I'm going to do this quickly. So let me blow this up a bit so it's readable, legible. If you have a low, oh, that's too much. If you got a lower resolution or looking on a small screen. So let's start at the top here, or can we order it differently? No, we cannot. Yeah, there's nothing here held for review. No, I'm really sorry. There's always something ending up in these that are not supposed to be held. So I'm sorry if any of your comments don't come out, don't get published. I've been neglecting it a bit, but every time I go here, it's like, oh no, this comment is fine, this comment is fine. It's approve. This algorithm doesn't really work properly here on YouTube. So, well, there's a compliment. I was like, I appreciate compliments. So the gathering and presentation of info in this video are fantastic. Super thumbs up. Thank you very much. I mean, it's helpful that people show their appreciation, not because I necessarily need it, but still, I mean, it's nice. Of course, it's nice. But also that I don't want to do this only for myself, If it's just entertaining to me, then I might just as well just do it just for me, right? Just do it on pieces of paper and put it away in my cupboard. So yeah. Rust Monster, that is an interesting profile. Is that like a speculative alien? Assume the fungi mooch of the surrounding megaflora. Yeah. This is about my fixing alien worlds. I'm gonna go through them a bit more quickly. So this is about my speculative zoology on Jupiter. So Derek says, I've often maintained that anywhere that carbon chemistry exists, there is the possibility, or perhaps the inevitability, of life. or at least life as we know it, is really nothing more than complex carbon chemistry, and common chemistry works in a very wide range of environments, from scalding hot geothermal vents to cryogenic environments. Yep. And gas giants possess multiple viable temperature ranges. It does. The problem with gas giants, and I think P.Z. Myers wrote a comment on that very video, is that it's hard, to imagine concentrations of this chemistry, because it's like a big churning. I mean, you could say the same about oceanic environments, right? But oceanic environments have like a bottom, they have like trenches, they have like shallow, they have got shallows, right? Got like little puddles, that could, where things could concentrate. And in a huge cloudy atmosphere like a gas giant, everything is perhaps, as P.Z. Myers put it, smeared out. So will any precursors to life become too diluted to spark the beginning of life? We don't know. I mean, for a long time I've felt like we should really go to Jupiter and see in the clouds if there's life in Jupiter. Carl Sagan talked about it. Come on. This is not like some obscure idea, but I don't know. I mean, we have to limit ourselves. I understand we have going to just look everywhere, because then you're diluting your own efforts to find life, right? So the only kind of life we know exists is the one we know of in Earth, and even though it got a range, we don't have Titan-like life on Earth anywhere. I mean, we have life in really cold environments, but not as cold as they are in Titan. And maybe the energy gradient on Titan is just too narrow for life. I don't know. I'm not so good in physics. I'm not good enough in any case. So I don't know. But I would love to agree with this comment, right? Anywhere you can have life. That would be great. But we just don't know. I would love it for that to be true. Yeah, I already talked about the vertebrates, and I will also look at the mollusks. Definitely. This is actually the one that that triggered my live stream here today. So a slime creature made entirely of fluid. Well, yeah, but how would that work? That would not work. I mean, it will have to be something in suspension of the fluid. Like a slime is usually some kind of protein or some other what do you call that? Polymer, long stranded molecules that kind of where water absorbs to, and so it becomes like a gooey mass. So it should always have just not be fluid, but have some kind of molecules in suspension of it. But then how do you keep it together, right? Because we have creatures like that. We've got like slime molds that are basically just crawling endoplasm, crawling cytoplasm, with a cell membrane around it, or maybe even a cell wall. I think not a cell wall, depending on the kind of slime mold. And the problem is that they never really organize into something. Well, they do actually organize, but only on a very microscopic scale, into kind of more, a thing that we would recognize as an animal with a body, right? So humans are aliens. I'm not gonna. The Jungle Dark music that comes from my editing software, TechSmith, Camtasia. It's actually it's referenced in my comment section. Someone liked my video. Thank you very much. Just appreciate that. There was actually a one-hoofed marsupial, the pig-footed bandicoot. Yeah. They were able to get around the concern of having to climb into the pouch by giving birth while laying on their sides, which made the process much easier. Well, that is interesting. Yeah. Right. Oh, that is idle speculation, and he is also around now. Or did you go already? Yeah, that is a very helpful comment. In the video, I talk about why do we have kangaroos, right? Why aren't there like ungulates, hoofed animals in Australia? Why aren't there no marsupial ungulates? And the reason that I give is that marsupials need to be able to crawl. Their they have to, at the very early stage of their development, have to have some kind of crawly front limbs that are fully developed as crawling front limbs. So it's very hard to make those into more specialized, limbs like that of a hoofed animal. So that is why kangaroos can only specialize their hind limbs to have some kind of analog to an ungulate. But then here, idle speculation says, well, there's one actually, Cheiropis. I want to investigate that one. Yeah. Can you see that? That's interesting. I mean, it's still small, but it could potentially have evolved into, well, that's some kind of alternate evolution we can. This could actually have turned into a into a kind of an ungulate analog. So I mean, but the point of my video was not so much that it's impossible to evolve. It's just it will take something extra, like the adaptation that idle speculation talks about. Do I know this channel? I will subscribe. Cool. Okay. You could turn it into an ebook. Yeah, I've been thinking of doing an ebook. As audiobook, well, if you have to like the sound of my voice, I'm not sure about the sound of my voice sometimes. The tripfish, you update the page sticks. I don't understand that. This is about my alternate history. Yes, I know that. Oh, there's a lot of from idle speculation here. Yeah. Okay, he mentions Doctor Who's explanation for human aliens. Oh, did I? I'm gonna give that a like. So, Doctor Who's explanation for human aliens. The Time Lords came first and were so enamored of their own form that they released the genetic virus into the universe. That I didn't know that. I haven't watched a lot of Doctor Who. I watched more Star Trek, and actually Star Trek has a similar theory, is that you had some kind of progenitor aliens that were humanoids, and they spread some kind of, I'm not sure if it was a virus or something akin to a virus that steered the evolution of life on all planets in the galaxy towards a humanoid form, which is a neat way to explain the Star Trek humanoids. Especially, well, it doesn't really explain why they can even interbreed, right? That's just a bit too far-fetched, right? I mean, I can kind of get on board technically with the idea that, then you have humanoids everywhere because, and you can apply the same for the Star Wars universe, by the way, because there was some kind of progenitor race of aliens that made it so. Pun not intended. That made it so, right? Yeah. Maybe I'll do a video on that particular idea. Another one from idle speculation. The introduced earth animals are fine. Oh, okay. This is right. It's the evolution proportional motion machine. It's everything about the center that perplexes me. Yeah, they have the same sentiment. Maybe it's a transitory state as they've eaten all available prey and are slowly dying out, having so to cannibalists to survive. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people have said that the writer of Dune, and I forgot his name. Sorry about that. What's his name? I don't know. I forgot it. It slipped my mind for a moment. It'll come back to me. But I wanted to do a video on the ecology of Dune because it makes no sense. It is always like idle speculation. It's always, well, it has vexed me. It's like, this is not, I mean, this is not how you make an ecology. It makes no sense. you have to have some kind of circular, you have some kind of, there has to be some point where you get energy into the system, and then it's kind of trickles down uh, into all kinds of different trophic layers and kinds of creatures. So you cannot have the ecology of June of Arrakis. It makes no sense whatsoever, and I really want to destroy that in a video someday. Well, I mean, respectfully analyze it, right? So yeah, let me look at the chat. I think Idle Speculation is, no, he's still, Frank Herbert, he's still here. Yeah. Purple Earth, how are you? Yeah, I'm doing fine. 500,000 subs, I'm not sure if I'm going to get there. I mean, I was hoping one day it was at least like 500,000, so I can get some money back that I'm putting out here, right? But I kind of just regard this now as a hobby that I enjoy very much. Yeah, I think a lot of people had a problem with June's ecology. It's not being said enough. I think there are a lot of videos about June, and it's like, hello, it makes no sense. This is not ecological. This is not circular. Or it is circular, right? That's the problem. It makes no sense. It's not being said enough about June, this June series. So what's this? Biology of slimes. It's about Terraria. The slimes in Terraria are just blobs with no organs. Yeah, but I prefer my slimes to have organs, because I cannot imagine a blob of a certain size, just this size, or maybe even smaller. I'm not sure exactly what the constraints are, but if it's supposed to be through and through alive, then you'll have a problem with diffusion at the core of it. You cannot even have cells above a certain size. So if a slime is like a blob of goo or cytoplasm or whatever you want to call it, it will never be able to go beyond the size of the biggest cell you can find on Earth, in Earth-like conditions. So this is why I made a video, right? If you have to have slimes that are at least like an inch or a foot or a meter, you have to have organs. You have to have some way to circulate. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe my imagination is just too limited. But you would have some kind of level of organization? Like, you cannot build a city by just putting a bunch of houses together, right? I mean, how do you get food to the center of the city? This is maybe a good analogy. If you build a city, you need to build roads. You need to build roads, some roads that are bigger than other roads, and then got ever smaller roads, so things get distributed. But you cannot build a city by just putting a bunch of houses together. At a certain moment, the city is too big for people in the middle to be able to get food and other things they need. This is just basic biology. So for any complex organism, this is the big challenge with slimes. It's a fantasy creature. So if you try to make it work, you'll have to have some kind of organization, high-level organization. Unless my imagination fails me, of course. I have no idea how to. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe some really clever cells that can just travel back and forth very quickly or something. I don't know. I know. You need vessels so you can push them through, like blood, right? Right. What time is it? Oh, it's almost 30 minutes have gone. Since the last set, I only want to go 30 minutes. I have to go to bed. Inside-out hypothesis for eukaryotic evolution. It makes sense for modular organisms to increase and grow. If we go off the inside-out hypothesis. Yeah. I'm not sure what he means with inside-out. But modularity is key. To hark back on the slime example that I talked about, you need the way you get a very efficient way to get a bigger, more complex organism is to reuse and slightly vary your modules, have all kinds of different Lego bricks. Yes. Someone liked my video. Thank you very much, Philip. Yeah, exactly. This is also what I've done. I've done a lot of, I wouldn't even call it plagiarism, right? I'm just saying, when I find something interesting, I want to do my own thing. I mean, I get inspired. Secretly sounds like Hungarian. Okay. The new edition of Cosmos doesn't have the illustration. Do I have the book here? Or is it in storage? No, I don't have it. Oh. Yeah, I need to find my copy of Cosmos. I got it from my sister back then. So, back in the 80s. I wish I could see an alien city. Yeah, you and me both. This is about my... this is a long comment. It's really long. I'll get back to this guy. It's about my AI thing. This video of mine needs more views, I think. Let me just... Can I? No, I cannot. Okay. Will artificial intelligence ever replace humanity? I mean... Artificial intelligence is kind of dumb. I mean, it's really smart in its own way, right? It can process information much faster than we can, than an individual human can. That is the power of what we call AI and machine learning algorithms. But there's an element missing. It's like it lacks understanding. And it sounds... I mean, what is understanding, right? Is it understanding just the ability to process information? Or is there something else going on than just information processing? Is consciousness, is it just information processing? Is it just calculation? Or is there something else going on? My intuition is there's something else going on, because even with the advanced machine learning AI that we've got today, which are very good at arriving at very, very useful results, there are some quirks that indicate that the AI doesn't really understand what it's doing. It doesn't really understand it. It can process the information, but it's also clueless. I don't know. This is a bigger philosophical point. I'll read these comments when I get to it. Jovian life. Oh, another big one. There's arguably no form of macroscopic life more exotic. Yeah. And with clouds as far as the eye could see, you couldn't get a more exotic landscape either, assuming that you can get past the massive Van Allen radiation belt. I remember some books as a child. Also, I'm just reading the comment here. Sorry, but it's very nicely written, so I feel like almost poetic reading it aloud. Some books that had sections that speculate about alien life. Yeah. One weird form of Venusian life resembling golem. Oh, interesting. The Pokemon. Oh, okay. Yeah, something that can stand the extreme conditions. I imagine that I could spend hours just flying above the planet's size, swirling storm clouds, watching the massive lightning storms below. Yeah. I wish we could. I mean, wouldn't it be great if there was life on Jupiter? Wouldn't it be great? We go to Jupiter, we find out there's these huge floaters, and on the floaters, there's like what you could call land life. Things scurrying about. Now that would be the find of the century. Probably not, but you never know. There are some weird colors. There's some weird hues on Jupiter. We haven't really looked closely enough at the clouds of Jupiter. Could there be little specks of life in there that we overlooked? Little specks that could be like city-sized, mega city-sized, floaters. It's a big planet. Maybe we'll surprise ourselves, right? Concerning the eyes, this is my Fixing Alien Worlds 3 review and analysis. I believe that how you went about the eyes of fauna on Eden is incorrect. An arboreal predator would likely not have slit eyes, as slit eyes produce an exaggerated blur on horizontal objects. Yeah, well then why do cats? The effect is less pronounced the higher up the line of sight is, which in turn reduces the likelihood of a bigger arboreal organism to have slit eyes. You can see this in the two cat families, Felidae and Panthera. Lions do not have slit eyes, yet smaller house cats do. Yeah, well, but that doesn't really follow. Slit eyes also change your range of vision, so predators will likely have slit eyes, while the prey do not. Surely the predator would preferably have a wider, less focused field of view than the prey. They are usually focused on one thing and one thing only, right? Anyways, love your vids. Interesting feedback. I need to think about that. Because, yeah, I need to understand better why pupils are formed in the way they are, right? I mean, you have like sharks and crocodiles and cats. And many reptiles have these what do you call them? Vertical slits. So what is really the reason for that? Thylakocephalans, yeah. This is my study object. Yep. I think I'm gonna stop soon. It's been 1.5 hours and I need to go to bed and get up really early tomorrow morning. So maybe I'll do a continuation. I'll look at more comments. I also got some emails, by the way, that I should answer. Maybe I'll do that during this week. But I'm just going to take a peek at my... I'm going to center myself here and look at my chat and see if there's anything of interest here. Wait a minute. Oh, I put it in there. So, yep. Can genetic information be transferred between genders by electric signals instead of particles? Well, you need some kind of conversion. But one thing I'd like to say is, in principle, anything we can make through technology anything that we could make using technology, we have proven can exist as physically, right, in our reality. So then, in principle, anything we can create technologically can also, in principle, evolve. Now, there are some constraints to that, of course, because not everything is likely to evolve. Like it's been pointed out many times that it's maybe not so likely for a creature to evolve like wheels, because you need an axis, and that axis needs to be detached. I mean, it's possible, but it's much more likely, it's much more easier for evolution to just do with limbs. I mean, why would you have wheels? Wheels are actually not that efficient in an environment. This is why rovers have on other planets, Mars rovers, they have their limitations, and it would be much easier. It would maybe much better if they could walk with limbs. They can more easily, deal with obstacles, right? So to go back to your question, I mean, yeah, like this happens in technology, right? You can have information in one device, which is like bits and bytes, which is digital. And then what happens is actually you turn that digital information into an analog signal that then can be received. Let me start this way. So this one sends, this has the information digitally. So think of this as DNA, right? Then you create a signal that transfers that information to the receiver. Then the receiver has to, encode that information and turn that into the native format again. So this should be digital. Um, I mean, I'm saying analog. You would think, hey, but the signal is also digital, right? It's binary. Well, yeah, but in the end, when you look really at the technological level, right, on how it's physically, it is actually also analog. The only difference is, I mean, it's just voltages going up and down. I mean, we call that digital because it's being discrete packets of information. But when it comes down to it, it's actually basically analog, right? It's like, you make an analogy. This is how you transfer it from one digital format to another digital format. I mean, I'm going too much into detail here. But in principle, yeah, if there was some reason for organisms, if there's some kind of constraint to having, to the exchange of genetic information by conventional means, just throwing your DNA, meaning the information in the native format, to another. That's what we do, right? When creatures, make babies, they throw the DNA, they smoosh their DNA together. They smoosh some parts together to make sure that the DNA is smooshed together. So the native state of the information is basically just put together as is. Now, if there's some reason you cannot do that, you will be forced to turn it into another format that you can transmit, and then it can be received. So that is in principle possible. But again, to go back to the wheel analogy, it is very hard to imagine how that can evolve, right? You need some kind of intermediate stage where you have both. Because otherwise, if you cannot exchange genetic information, conventional or otherwise, you will not reproduce. So you need some kind of stage where both is possible. And the alternative has an advantage. This is why it's evolved. And then so but this is this is the problem with irreducible complexity, is that a lot of things that we now find in organisms, it's the argument done by creation is, oh well, if you start peeling it apart, if you take one part away, it doesn't work anymore. Yeah, but that is the current state of it. But you have no idea about how that came about. It's very common for things to have there are many examples also in our society and in technology, right? Where there was some scaffolding before that, and then all of a sudden it just works, and the scaffolding falls away because you no longer need the scaffolding. But now it cannot survive. It has to work together. So because the scaffolding is gone, then it becomes irreducibly complex. So yeah, I hope people understand what I'm trying to say here. But anything is in principle possible to evolve, because we've seen, I wouldn't say anything, but there are a lot of possibilities. So anything you can imagine is in principle possible. The big challenge is the pathway to that place. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna stop the live. Not sure when I'll have the time to turn this into a edited video where I get out the best parts. So maybe like 10 minutes, maybe half an hour at most. But thank you for attending. How many people are we up now on? Where's my... Oh, there it is. 10 viewers still. Thank you for being here. And I hope I can start producing videos again. It might take a while. I don't know. But thank you for being here. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for your input and feedback and appreciation. And let's go. Let's continue this journey together. I'm still around. I'm really happy that you're around too. I will continue my speculations. I will continue thinking about alien biospheres and thinking about cracking this puzzle. I attempt to crack this puzzle. And yeah, stay with me if you would like. So, cheers and bye bye.